Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. It is Monday, July 28th. Happy Money Monday to you. Hope you had a good day in the market. I'm going to review 0-day options. Today we took on SPY and my small account challenge. And yeah, basically a daily journal for myself, a video journal. Still getting over the sickness, and it's been kind of nasty. Yeah. But feeling better today. And better than last week at least, so my excuses are over. Yeah, we had no data today that I saw. I think we've got data this week though. Let's see. Yeah, 29th. Tomorrow we have consumer confidence, job openings, advanced retail inventories, trade balance. That's all pre-market. Consumer confidence is 10. Job openings is also 10, so little data tomorrow. And then Wednesday we have FOMC interest rate decision and Alpow on Wednesday at 2:30. So market might just be kind of grindy, choppy until then. Probably find a nice balance, nice equilibrium. Here's Eric's chart on the 30-minute. Sorry. Eric, this is Spy Day Trading on YouTube. So kind of just grinding up here still. We're just pinned at the top of... Why did I do that? We're pinned at the top of basically the daily Bollinger. And we've got liquidity here, built some here. Come down, just haven't even retested this breakout on the green yet. We grab this, probably see a retest on 5-day. But 5-day is going to be gapped up tomorrow. Again, probably not anything significant until Powell. And then even if we retrace all the way back down to 20-day, it still could be, still be bullish. Good healthy pullbacks are warranted in a bullish trend. Okay, this should be locked. I gotta lock that thing. Lock it down. So today on the 1 minute, little bit of a gap up, I think. Yeah, a little bit of a gap up. Low volume, summertime chop, pretty much. Started identifying some of the algos here. Took it pretty easy this morning, being a Monday. Trying to start the week slow, not get too anxious. Retail FOMO over the weekend is real, and people are hyped. So let's see, my first trade, 1013 into calls. So I'm seeing the cup close here, this high to this high, and yeah, here's the handle. I had this purple drawn from here, repeated here, had it here, and basically I'm in right here on calls. It was a pretty tight range, and I'm not sure if I had this white one in yet or not, but yeah, it was a pretty tight range. My stop on that, I don't have a clear stop really, so that's not good. It's basically, it's a real tight stop, like here, pretty much. And so it did grind up, and it just kind of failed continuation though. So these contracts went up, I think they were up like 14%. I didn't close, given it's a small account. I'm looking kind of more than 14%. But realistically, I gotta be in the morning, in the early, before 10:30, before 10, the moves, you kind of gotta just be more scalpy and be quicker to take profits. So I didn't take any because I only have one contract also. If I had two, sure, I would have taken one at probably high day or on this candle somewhere. But I did, I think, close out for a 1 penny loss on a break here. Yeah, on this candle right here. So down 1 cent, took it there, which I'm fine with. The strategy is a little bit different against a small account. 14% on that cheap of a contract too, because the contract only cost $32. It was like, I think it was up like $6 or $7. So, which percentage wise in this small of an account, it's not bad, but yeah, I haven't traded in the morning lately, so gotta calibrate a little bit, because 15-20% moves are, that's bread and butter in the morning, the first couple hours. So failed to continue the upside. Potentially could be making a bigger handle. And let's see, is that what I was thinking? 11:55. I got into another call. Wait, call? Yeah, I did. 11:55. Interesting. So came down, grabbed this. Oh, okay, yeah, right here. So right here, I had this white drawn, and it was pretty good. I was pretty confident in this white, but not as confident as I guess I needed to be. At this point, I hadn't completed the inverse cup, and so I wasn't sure what I was waiting for. I was more waiting for it to complete it and build a handle for me. So when I broke this with some volume, I just wasn't quite prepared to pull the trigger on puts, being that it was like basically at the low of day and completing the inverse cup. And this is where I would have had to have gotten them. So yeah, I guess in hindsight, I'd say it's maybe good if there's a lot of liquidity being built, and you know, it's a bigger volume on a break of the channel. You can take it and go for a chase. Not even a chase, but just a breakout. It's just, yeah, for me, I'm not too upset about it, since hadn't completed the inverse cup, and I was, you know, there wasn't nice structure here either. So if this come out made ahead and then, you know, never complete the inverse cup, but at least I got ahead and grabbed the shoulder, then sure, I'll take it for low of day or potential flush. But yeah, without that, it is a little, I just wasn't too confident in it. I think Emperor got it. At least he said he did. This guy doesn't share his trades, but he shares these, so maybe there is trades. So he also had this less aggressive blue line, which I didn't have. My chart was actually different than his today, but I didn't mind it. Wasn't looking at his a whole lot. Yeah, so didn't catch that one, and the fact that it didn't make a handle is kind of an insight into this move, which, yeah, I wasn't quite on this one either. So sometimes you want to try and catch the bounce trade, the other times you don't. I need to kind of improve on seeing when it is a good time where you might get some kind of V. And I think the lack of the handle and structure to warrant this move to the downside is probably one good indicator. Because I could have taken calls on a break of my purple here, or if I was looking at Emperors, he had a more aggressive one. Could have taken it. Well, I guess his was basically green, so more or less the same area. Just to kind of get the bounce trade, or even on this candle, which would have been an engulfing from these two together to that one. But yeah, some days I've caught those, but it's not a trade I'm that comfortable with. And I'm happy that I'm not comfortable with that one, because you've got to be on it, because oftentimes it's not a good trade. It's just going to build liquidity and chop, and then make a head, and not necessarily V like this. So anyways, came back up into the same range. Trading range today was tight, at 3 points, not even 2.5 points the whole day. So yeah, we're back in tight range territory. Came up, rejected this white. Well, no, it actually didn't reject the white. It broke out of this white, which was kind of, to what I could see, was bulls building liquidity with this white one. And the fact that it broke out of it made this inverse head, grabbed this shoulder right here, broke the white. I was like, all right. This is in my window where I'm trying to be very careful on trading between 11:45 and I think 1:15. So I don't want to not take trades if I see it, but I just have to be mindful of it. I think I took one there. Yep. So let's see. 11:55, 11:59. Yeah, okay. So that's what that one was, 11:55. So I broke it. One indicator here would be lack of volume, which let me fix that. Which I kind of know, and so I was looking at that once it broke that. There wasn't much volume, and if there was volume, it probably wouldn't have danced around here. It would have probably just ripped and probably completed the cup and then maybe given an entry. But sometimes it'll break the channel and build a little bit and then rally. Later trade today, I'll show you that happened. But in this case, volume never came in, so it just started looking weak. And my call I got at 12:01. I closed, or no, 11:55. I closed at 11:59. So I gave it plenty of time. It broke my gold, and then this was kind of my support then. and once it broke that and dropped below, I was out. So that was a small loss, but yeah, these are all tight losses, which is nice. But still, yeah, that one was probably my biggest loss on the day. That was 44 cents to 39 cents. So 5-cent loss. And my next trade was at 12:01, and I was in the puts. So another trade in my window where I don't have much success. And I know that, so I'm kind of quick on my stops. This is basically if that's a rejection, a false breakout. I'm thinking could be a reversal. And this is still then the resistance. And here's a nice shoulder. Here's a head, and this candle grabbed it, and I got it on the next candle, this green one. But given that it's middle of the day, it doesn't mean it's just going to come down. It could very well do this. This is why you've got to be careful. So I got on this candle 12:01. Let's see, closed it out on this candle 12:03. So it would have ended up being green, but I'm totally fine that I just cut my losses on this green candle. The problem was it this one? Let's see, 12. No, I'm sorry. 12:01, 12:16. Oh yeah, so I didn't close it here. Yeah, this was kind of this was a trade. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna hold it, and not in that sense, like just set it, hold it, and forget it. I was gonna hold it and just wait until it broke this red. So profit target on it would have been this channel or low of day, and just let it grind down there if it's going to. Yeah, at one point it was up here a little bit, and again, if I had more than one contract, sure, I could have taken one on one of these big red candles and then had one for a runner. But with one contract, I was kind of fine to just sit on it and have a hard stop, which I did. 12:16, so I was 25 cents to 23 cents, and I closed it on that candle once it broke there. So yeah, I guess on Emperor's chart, I'm not sure if that was. Yeah, that was kind of no man's land for his chart too. We're in the middle of basically a big wedge. So I was kind of getting puts up here just as resistance. So if you're in a wedge, just getting puts at the top of it and calls the bottom is definitely one way to trade. In the middle of the day, futures or spreads probably better for that. But yep, that was the next trade. So that's 1, 2, 3 red trades, and 2 of them were green at one point that went red, which I'm not really in the habit of doing, but I guess with such a tight range, I was just kind of holding for more. Maybe I shouldn't have. I feel fine with it because, yeah, it's a tight range, and if it had continued to go and worked in my favor on any of those trades, well, the 2 that I was green on, it would have been hard for me to get back into it. So I guess having the exposure to the move was fine with me. But yeah, so 3 red trades, 2 that were slightly green, and then went red. And then let's see, the next one here was at 150. So then sat out for a bit, watched it come down. Yeah, let's see this one. So white was building liquidity here. There's this one, and then there's that one. So this kind of retested this prior low pretty nicely. Problem was this structure I didn't like very much. So I didn't catch this to complete this inverse cup. Could have taken it just on a break of the white and the increased volume. Once the volume comes in though, it's almost like you're too late. Like you can just scalp it, but you didn't even have more volume here, so it would have just been on this engulfing red with a break of this channel. Or you could have, I guess, yeah, started drawing your purple and just taking it based on purple and having that as your stop. But yeah, the volume didn't really come in until this big red, and you could have taken it there and just gotten out in the same candle. given I only have very limited on how many trades I can take. I didn't take that one. I think Emperor got that one. Yeah, he was super late on it.
API connections for execution, remove emotional
That's
interference.
Trading Psychology Stick. That's a good channel. It's all like AI, but it's I think it's all derived from trading books, and it's good. So he was late on it, but he kind of had the same idea, and he had to be out quick. So built the inverse cup, looking for a handle, and if you see this white as the liquidity built, it's not perfect, but right here it rejected it kind of twice. It was support here, resistance here, and then that same one, if you put it here, it was kind of perfectly rejecting a resistance there. So I kind of had this as a channel. Ideally it would have made a shoulder. This would all be a shoulder, and then it would grind up, make a head right here, and it would also reject this, and then that'd be a nice entry. I didn't do that. It just showed this as resistance, and then made a big red candle and broke this other white like I had here and here. This wasn't my favorite entry, and that's why I kept the size small. I was looking for, more confident entry to get, I keep moving that thing, I'm sorry, to get two contracts or 3 or whatever the rest of my buying power was. But yeah, this broke that white, and it wasn't my favorite. I actually kind of just sat back at the desk and quick jumped in, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, maybe shouldn't have done that. But we do have liquidity here. This could be a head, even if it's not. It has broken the channel, and it is grabbing that liquidity. But this could have gone against me, and so I wasn't super stoked on that trade, which is funny because that is the one that worked out. Made sense, stuff lined up, but it just was not my favorite looking structure. Yeah, so on the 150, or at 150 when it retested the white, somewhere in here I got a put, and yeah, you can see it just kind of built liquidity, kind of grind, and then volume came in and it broke that lower channel, which that could have been an entry too, and I could have added, but it's just so fast. I really had to be in it before that. I mean, not really, but seeing it now, yeah, I'm not sure where I could have done better on this one, honestly. Yeah, I would have had to just grab it. Yeah, I don't think I could have. So on this one, given all that prior context, I didn't have a good precision to the downside because I kept breaking my purple, and this one candle after these candles, I mean, I opened it up here, and so by the time I was here, it was low a day, just past low a day, and it started to show me some green candles, some buying pressure. This one did wick pretty high, but I actually closed it on this one, I think. Yeah, at 2 o'clock. So closed it on that one. So missed this leg down, unfortunately. That's a trade maybe for once I have more than one contract, and I'm fine with that if that's the case. I don't want to be, because once I have 2, I don't want to be holding 2 through all of this, because this very well could be a bottom and it will reverse. And right here they were moving so fast. It was up, I think, like 40%. Now it's 31 cents to 45 cents. So, just this little wick right here, we're losing 20% almost. And so I need to be closing that one, and just that needs to be a solid habit regardless. So did miss this next leg down. My real profit target was really this white line right here. So didn't quite make it there, but yeah, if I had to, I definitely would have held and probably closed on a big red candle, which was this one, which would have been a perfect exit. And then after that, liquidity build, wedge into close. It did break this white up here, so could have caught a little one down to there, but I don't know why I didn't take that. Actually, I guess at that point I was waiting for it to break this lower one. I wanted a bigger move. I wasn't trying to catch these interior wedge trades. And then there was a final trade here, which broke this final white up here. This bullish control broke it, retested it. So it's a 10-minute move right here. I didn't like the structure here much either, but yeah, it was, and because it kind of broke back in there, but it was a pretty nice little setup. Looking at this candle with the long wick down there, I didn't like this engulfing red candle. I didn't like that it broke back in here. but you've got to just remember it's kind of an area. It's not a hard line like this. I mean, sometimes you're onto the penny, but sometimes it's just that area. So in reality, it did break it, and it retested, and then it rallied. So I looked at the contracts here that would have gotten. Oh, that was actually that was part of the, or yeah, that was actually the problem, because I did want it once I saw this green candle. I'm remembering now. So the contracts were messed up. They weren't messed up, but the gap between the two strikes were too big. So then the next strike out was like 5-cent contracts, which I don't want. Those aren't going to appreciate unless we get a huge move. I'll just lose on that. And the ones that were cheaper than that were like 45 cents, which were just in the money. And when it was right here, I saw it for 42 cents and I could afford that. And then once it made this candle, they were like 45 cents. And I actually couldn't buy it. I had enough buying power. So I actually did try to take that, in all fairness. I just, the strike prices just didn't line up with how much buying power I had left. Those did do 100%. So up to VWAP, it was like 84 or something cents. So anyways, I'm happy on the day. We're up. It's a small green day. No problem. No bad way to start the week if you're green. Yeah. So we'll take it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Try and be cautious. Try and keep getting better. Thanks for watching, guys. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. Peace out.